less than 30 minutes prior to their splashdown, these Mark 12 re-entry vehicles were launched on two Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missiles from over 4,200 miles away at Vandenberg Air Force Base as a part of the Strategic Air Command's ICBM Operational Test and Evaluation Program. The intercontinental ballistic missiles assigned to the Strategic Air Command account for over 50% of the United States strategic nuclear delivery vehicles. Flight testing of this force is essential to determine its capabilities and develop its employment tactics. Since peacetime launches from operational bases are prohibited because of safety constraints, flight tests are conducted from Vandenberg Air Force Base, California, to distant targets in the Pacific Ocean. The 1st Strategic Aerospace Division, known as 1 STRAD, is located at Vandenberg and is charged with implementing the flight testing program for all of the currently deployed SAC ICBM weapon systems. The purpose of this program is to conduct test launches in an operationally realistic environment and to gather and analyze data from these launches. 1 STRAD provides the telemetry analysts that monitor and evaluate the quality of the flight data and verify the proper operation of the telemetry system during a launch operation. The 1 STRAD missile flight analysts provide the Air Force with its only blue suit capability to analyze ICBM weapon system performance from launch initiation through impact. 1 STRAD's Ballistic Missile Evaluation Directorate uses the resulting performance data to characterize actual deployed force reliability and accuracy, which forms the basis for planning the employment of SAC's ICBM weapon systems in our strategic forces. Since SAC is only one of many users of the Western Test Range, the Joint Pacific Area Scheduling Office incorporates all user requests into an overall Western Test Range schedule. The complexity of missile test support requires a single point of scheduling coordination. At Vandenberg, this role is fulfilled by the 1 STRAD Range Scheduling Office, which is responsible for scheduling host-based support for all launches on the Western Test Range, regardless of range user. After Headquarters SAC has published the special orders specifying the requirements and objectives for a test launch, the Commander-in-Chief of SAC randomly selects a missile from those on alert at operational missile wings. The parent missile wing then performs several weapon system tests to ensure that the selected missile and its supporting ground electronic systems are capable of supporting launch. Once the field exercise is complete, the next step is to remove the missile from alert and ship both the missile and selected ground support systems to Vandenberg Air Force Base, California. Meanwhile, at Vandenberg, a test manager and a launch director are assigned from the 1 STRAD Test and Evaluation Deputate. The test manager manages the entire operation from a systems perspective and provides coordination with Headquarters SAC and the Western Test Range. The launch director is responsible for the conduct of the actual launch countdown and during the missile build activities provides a single point of contact for coordinating all required tasks. The 1 STRAD launch director also works with 394th ICBM Test Maintenance Squadron personnel to develop a detailed receipt through launch schedule for the operation, and he coordinates the activities of Vandenberg agencies that provide support for the task force. The 394th ICBM Test Maintenance Squadron has several unique responsibilities within the OT&E program, such as refurbishing the launch facilities after each launch. This involves cleaning and resealing the launch tube liner, restoring any damaged components, and checking out all the ground support systems. When the missile components arrive at Vandenberg, 394th personnel begin processing them for the test launch. Because of the stringent range safety requirements for peacetime launches, technicians install a radio-controlled destruct system on all 3 stages of the booster. In addition, a telemetry system with sensors throughout the missile is added to monitor a multitude of in-flight performance parameters. Both the destruct system and the telemetry system are connected to special transmitters and receivers located in what is known as an instrumentation wafer. This wafer, which also contains a radar transponder for more accurate tracking during flight, is added to the missile between the re-entry system and the missile guidance set. One strad also provides all normal Minuteman coded component support to the task forces. Codes Vault personnel insert the classified inhibit, enable, and launch codes into the control panels used to launch the missile and provide the computer program tapes for the weapon system computers. After the missile and other components have arrived at Vandenberg, the parent missile wing deploys a task force of approximately 30 personnel comprised of a task force commander, 3 missile launch crews, and a cross-section of missile maintenance teams found at a missile wing. Upon their arrival at Vandenberg, the task force is oriented to the test environment they will work in and are provided detailed briefings on special Vandenberg equipment and tasks. During this time frame, the task force commander also meets with the one strad commander and other key personnel in the operational test program to further establish a good working rapport for the operation. The task force is provided with office space from which to conduct their operation and, in effect, becomes an extension of their parent missile wing. The first major activity for the task force is LF buy-off. This is when the task force inspects the launch facility they will use and formally assumes the management of all maintenance activities on site. By this time, the task force munitions team has started building up the reentry system for the missile. The nuclear components are removed from the operational reentry vehicle, and special test equipment is substituted to provide in-flight RV performance data, such as arming and fusing events. When all the missile components have been prepared for the test launch, the booster is removed from its storage bunker and loaded into a transporter erector. The task force will then convoy the booster to the missile complex and emplace it in the launch facility. Following booster emplacement, the guidance and control unit, together with the instrumentation wafer, and the reentry system are added to the missile, and startup is accomplished. After the launch crew has inserted the targeting information and accomplished the required weapon system tests, they report the missile alert ready to the 1 Strad Command Post and 394th Job Control. Throughout the entire missile receipt through launch flow of activities, 394th Job Control, together with the task force commander and the launch director, must keep track of the numerous events that are required to bring an operational missile to Vandenberg and prepare it for a test launch. For example, as soon as possible after the alert period has started, the performance of the instrumentation wafer must be verified. All the wafer systems are evaluated separately, and with the telemetry system active, the responses of the weapon system during a missile test are recorded at the telemetry data center, where during flight, the actual flight data is recorded. To prepare themselves to conduct the actual launch, the 1 Strad countdown team spends many hours performing simulated countdowns. And to ensure the task force launch crews are prepared, the test conductor, a member of the 1 Strad countdown team, trains the crews in the procedures required to maintain range safety during a peacetime test launch. As the scheduled date for the launch approaches, the 394th and task force maintenance teams will accomplish final enabling of the launch facility. This involves removing the green plug, which prevents ignition of the destruct ordnance, and installing the red plug, allowing the destruct system to be armed. And removal of the safing pins and the safety control switch lock pin. Shortly prior to launch day, the 1 Strad countdown team must conduct a range check to verify that all missile, instrumentation, and Western test range systems are ready for launch. The Western Test Range conducts a pre-operation meeting to ensure their preparations are complete for the launch, and the 1 Strad Test Manager presents a formal readiness review briefing to the 1 Strad commander. This briefing provides the commander with a review of all actions taken in preparation for launch, and also assures him that all required agencies are ready to support the operation. There are 4 key elements involved in the launch. The first is the countdown team. All members of SAC's Top Hand program, the members of this team, are located in the missile complex area at the Launch Support Center. The launch director is in charge of the team and is responsible for all actions during the count. The test conductor, in addition to training the task force crews on procedures prior to the launch, directs all crew actions during the count and ensures that liftoff will occur exactly at the pre-planned time. The countdown control officer acts as the voice of the team. He controls the pace of the countdown by reading the checklist over the net and operates the range clocks. The fourth member of the countdown team is the Launch Environmental Protective System Control and Monitor Operator. He monitors the special Vandenberg equipment at the launch facility that protects the launcher from the missile's exhaust blast during launch. He also can, at the launch director's command, prevent launch up until first stage ignition. The 392nd Communications Group, which maintains the complex ground data system used to check out and control the onboard instrumentation equipment, provides the final team members, the monitor, and the control operator and his assistants. They operate the console used to configure the onboard safety and instrumentation systems for launch. Back on the main portion of Vandenberg, located at the Western Space and Missile Center headquarters, is the second key element, the Launch Operations Control Center. The one STRAD commander and his deputy chief of staff for test and evaluation, as well as the test manager and members of the one STRAD technical staff, operate out of this area. And it is from here that the final launch go or no-go decision is made. The third key element, the Range Operations Control Center, is the nerve center of the Western Test Range and is located in the room next to the Launch Operations Control Center. Here, the Range Operations Supervisor oversees the functioning of the entire Western Test Range. To ensure effective support for range users, this agency ties instrumentation, range safety, and many other elements together all along the 4,200 nautical mile path to the target area at the Kwajalein Atoll in the Marshall Islands of the South Pacific. The Task Force missile launch crews are the fourth key element in this massive effort. The crews are located underground in a launch control center that is electrically connected to the launch facility containing the test missile. After receiving a SAC test initiation message, they will insert the weapon system launch commands that actually launch the missile. As the time to pick up the actual countdown nears, final preparations are being completed. Roadblocks are set up as part of a safety cordon around the launch facility, and area security checks are started to ensure no one is within the cordoned-off safety area. Final communication checks are completed, and the final countdown begins.
TMO 8 acknowledge. TMO 9 acknowledge. LCMO 8 acknowledge. In 30 seconds, countdown for Glory Trip 40 Golf Mike and Glory Trip 68 Golf Mike will commence on my mark. 15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. T-minus 45 minutes and counting. All stations monitor the countdown net continuously until launch exercise is terminated. RCO, MCO, confirm ready for C-band evaluation. RCO ready. MCO ready. MCO apply C-band ground power to LF8 and LF9. MCO proceeding.
The countdown is divided into three major portions: range checks on ground power, initial launch commands and missile instrumentation battery activation sequences, and finally, transfer of all systems to internal missile power with final launch command insertion and liftoff.
Ground power to LF8 and LF9. MCO proceeding.
This count progressed smoothly until a small pleasure boat appeared out of the fog near shore.
Go program.
Be advised, we have a boat in sight, speedboat, about a mile and a half, 2 miles offshore, just a little north of Proof Point.
The boat is too close to the danger area around the launchers, and the countdown must be held until the boat can be moved into the clear. The boat is quickly escorted away, and the count is allowed to continue.
CSO verified. Missile flight hazard caution area clear and ready for launch. CSO verified. T-minus 15 minutes. Mark and counting.
At this point, the onboard instrumentation batteries are now activated. Meanwhile, the One Strad command post transmits a test initiation message to the crews, after which they enable the missile and insert the first of 2 execute launch commands required for launch. With the missile registering 1 launch vote, the second crew installs their launch control panel, which contains the code for the second launch vote, and awaits the test conductor's command to turn keys.
T-minus 4 minutes, mark and counting.
With the launch crews ready, last-minute checks are accomplished, and the instrumentation system is transferred to internal power.
LFO 9, MCO, LFO 8, and LFO 9, C-band and telemetry on missile power. RCO perform final go, no go.
As everyone makes their final checks, the launch director receives final approval for launch.
Mission director, range green. Mission director acknowledged. Launch director ROS, commander's green, clear to launch.
Secondary commander, initiate execute launch command on my mark in 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one, mark.
Secondary commander, message transmitted. Attention all stations, status alert green, stand by for terminal count. Mark 8, flight program entered. You got direction tail off. 3. Roger. Ignition stage 2. Roger, ignition stage. MCO.
Program confirmed, stage 2.
Target. Let's go. You got sight 4 at this time. Roger. Good AGCs. Roger. Hope.
Program unknown.
Roger, program. By Hawaii, 175 and coming right on down the line. Stand by for burnout 3.
Even though the launch was in the early morning daylight in California, the Kwajalein target area is still in pre-dawn darkness as the re-entry vehicles, glowing from the heat of re-entering the atmosphere, impact on their targets. Testing and evaluation of missiles were moved from operational sites and launched from Vandenberg Air Force Base using operational unit maintenance technicians and combat crews supported by the 1st Strategic Aerospace Division and the Western Test Range, proves that the intercontinental ballistic missile continues to be a reliable and accurate leg of the strategic triad. This operational testing program, in combination with actual day-to-day missile operations, gives us confidence in our ICBM force's readiness.